Resume.org just surveyed 1,000 hiring managers, and what they found absolutely shocked them. And today we're going to cover some of the most shocking hiring and firing trends that are happening right now in the United States. And by the way, over 700 people left comments over the past month. And some of the comments that have been left are going to be substantiated, but some of the comments that you left, well, they might just be disproven by these hiring managers. Regardless, if you're interested and you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave your opinion and comment below. So let's look at this survey. This survey was completed over the month of December. And what they found was that most hiring and firings are planned for 2026. December was a bit of a slow month. And by the way, just last week, we covered Microsoft's inside plan to fire thousands and thousands of employees later this month. You can check out that video here so you can ensure that you're aware of what's happening before it happens. But let's look at some more of the data here. Nearly half of all companies expect layoffs will definitely or probably occur during Q1 2026. Layoffs are coming. You heard it here first. But what's also interesting is that 86% expect to hire during that period as well. So I find it interesting that half of these companies are saying we're laying people off, where nearly 90% are saying we are bringing new people in. Where are the opportunities going to be for you to fit in? Where are the problems going to be for you to solve? Guys, if we're going to remain relevant, respected, and financially free during this AI takeover, we're going to need to find new lanes and opportunities. And if 90% of companies are thinking that they're going to be hiring this year, well, that to me says there's going to be opportunities. It's not all doom and gloom. So what's also interesting here to me is some of the reasons. So these companies that are not hiring reported budget constraints, revenue uncertainty, and pressure to control costs. Now hold that thought. We're going to talk a little bit more about this in a moment, because when you're looking at getting your foot in the door at a new position, there is one thing above all that is really crucial to getting that role. And we're going to talk about that here in just a moment. What's also interesting is the most commonly cited reason for layoffs. And there's a number of reasons, but the number one cited reason for layoffs, artificial intelligence and automation. 17% of these hiring managers reported that as the most common reason, or the number one reason for layoffs. Second on the list is restructuring. It's 17%. Budget constraints at 15%. Pressure to control costs at 14%. So there's a couple things happening here. Companies are saying, hey, we got to streamline, we've got to be more efficient, we've got to cut back on waste, and also artificial intelligence. So we've got kind of like two main buckets there. And I think that what's happening here, guys, is AI is one of the major solutions to waste and excessive costs, because the reality is that humans are most often going to be the most expensive line item on a company's balance sheet. People are expensive, or I should say on their profit and loss report. It's an expensive part of your company. Typically, at least in my experience, humans are typically about 60% of your overall cost structure. And if you're telling a company, hey, we can use AI, we can replace customer service, we can streamline and lay off some software developers, and well, maybe you don't need so much in HR. Like, okay, cool, let's leverage the AI, we can save a lot of money. It's naturally going to happen, whether you like it or not. That is something that's going to happen. Let's go a little bit deeper. Let's double click on this. While AI is a major factor in hiring, only 9% say that AI has completely replaced human workers. Only 9%. So again, this is an interesting dynamic where we understand that AI is impacting the world, but only 1 out of 10 hiring managers says they're just completely outsourcing to AI. We're going to get into that in a little bit more detail here in just a moment. What's also interesting here is 45% of firms say AI has partially reduced the need for new hires. But surprising to me, only another 45% report that AI has little or no impact on staff levels. And I think this is what makes AI just so interesting and dynamic when it comes to the hiring process, and something that I think has manifested itself, again, in the comments on these videos. Half of these employers say that AI is making a difference, and then the other half say it doesn't make a difference at all. And I just think that that's creating a lot of, debate and discussion. And here's where I land on that. Those 45% that think that AI creates no change or no difference are cruising for a bruising. And again, this is why people ask me, Mark, why are you recording this content on this channel? It's because I want to wake people up, because I've experienced AI, I've tasted it, I'm using it daily, and I can tell you it makes a big difference, especially when you're using it the right way, which takes a little bit of learning curve. The sooner you start using AI, guys, basically the more equipped you're gonna be when you turn from that 45% that doesn't think it makes a difference to the 45% that understands that it does. Now, let's go into this, because I think this is this next data point from the survey, I think, is very, very revealing. And that is in regards to artificial intelligence being wrongfully attributed to the firing conversion. Okay, 6 in 10 companies admit they highlight AI to make hiring freezes or layoffs become more palatable. People are more willing to accept the hiring or firing if it's blamed on AI. In fact, Kara Dennison, who is the head of career advising at resume.org, says this, quote, AI has become an explanation because it sounds strategic, forward-looking, and inevitable. AI suggests progress rather than problems. Saying roles are affected by AI signals innovation and modernization, while acknowledging financial strain can raise concerns among investors, employees, and customers. Boom. And I gotta say, that is something that I've seen some of you really intelligent people out there mention. You know, you have these companies, and by the way, we cover this in length in a video. I'll see if my editor can find this video here. But one of the things that I did later in the last year was say, well, what is the impact on stock when a company goes through a firing and blames AI? Does that actually increase the stock or decrease the stock? And you got to check out that video, because we got mixed results. It's, to me, not 100% clear that, hey, if we blame AI, we're going to get a stock bump. In some cases it happened, in some cases it didn't. What happened with Microsoft, Facebook, Meta, Amazon? You're going to have to watch that video here, because it's interesting, the implications. Regardless, I must say, it sounds a lot better to say, hey guys, we're laying off people because AI is just so efficient and it's saving us so much money, so we're gonna lay off people. That is gonna play a lot better than, guys, we had a bad quarter and we churned out a bunch of customers and things are not looking so great, so we had to lay people off. It's definitely a different type of message. It's kind of like saying, hey guys, I'm single because there's so many fish in the sea and I'm getting all this attention from women at the gym. That is a lot different than, guys, I'm single because my girlfriend broke up with me because I'm playing too many video games and I'm not making enough money. It plays a little bit different, wouldn't you say? It plays a little bit different. So I agree with you guys there who make that comment. Again, post your comments below if you agree or disagree with me. I'd like to see. So here's another thing that I think is absolutely informative and illuminating, is what are companies most interested in from new hires? What is the most desired skills of 2026? And what's interesting about this survey question is this will apply to any role. It doesn't matter what role you're in, but what are these companies looking for? Again, if you're out there, if you're one of the thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of men who have submitted hundreds of applications and are not getting anywhere, this is the talking point, guys. You want to sell yourself? This is what companies are looking at. So the companies the hiring managers could select their top three most desired skills. Number one, problem-solving skills, 54%. Can you solve problems? Guys, I've been trying to hammer this home that we're moving out of a job phase of employment. We're moving out of jobs, clocking in, clocking out, and into problem solvings. What problems do you solve? What problems do you solve? That, and being able to solve different problems is really, really key. So that is number one, problem solving skills. Number two, ability to learn new tools and tech quickly, 44%. How quickly can you learn new tools and tech? Again, this is something I've been hammering home too. So it's very it just makes me feel like a fortune teller, like a prophet, when I see that my predictions are laying themselves out in data. Communication skills, 43%. Guys, it feels like I wrote this thing, 43%. Number 3, communication skills. I've been saying this, that the relationships you have matter, that the way you connect with other human beings matters. There is one thing that AI cannot do, and that's create a genuine human-human connection. That is where your communication comes into place. 4, adaptability at 39%. Collaboration, 5, collaboration or teamwork, 36%. Next, hard skills specific to the role, 33%. I find that fascinating. When these companies are looking to hire, they're not really saying like, well, we need an expert who already knows how to do this, has already done this before. They're saying, can you figure it out? Can you communicate? Can you work in a team? Do you know how to solve problems? That's what they're looking for, which is interesting to me. This, like, if you're looking for a career shift, this might be one of the best times in history to do that. 31% familiarity with AI tools and 21% leadership potential. Not really interested in leaders. They want to know, can you solve problems? Can you think differently? Can you communicate? Can you work in teams? That, my friends, those are the skills that you should be leveraging. And when you're going into an interview, when you're filling out an application, that's what you want to say. I mean, listen, even if you're not really necessarily looking for a job now, which I'm not, what you should be doing and what I'm doing is saying, what are the problems within my organization and how can I solve them? So that when I go to my next customer, my next client, my next job opportunity, I can say, these are the problems that we found in our organization. I was able to solve them and this is how I did it. Guys, that is the message. And AI is certainly a tool that can help. But AI is the solution to a potential solution to problems. It's not always the solution to the problems. So you gotta stay open and stay learning. If you enjoyed this video, guys, give it a thumbs up, give it a sub. I'm bringing you a fresh video 6 days a week, and I hope you enjoyed this video because I think this topic is totally fascinating. If you enjoyed the video, you'll also like yesterday's video. I'll post a link to it right there. Just click the button, check out yesterday's video so you can stay up to date with what's happening in this new AI-driven job market. I'll catch you guys there. See ya. Peace.